Anthony Hartwig here with episode 5 of Lady Raider Coach's Corner with Jeff Fishel. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us this week.
Absolutely. Love it.
Coach's Corner in prime time. You guys had a late practice tonight. We're sitting here. It's just past 9 o'clock. How was the long day of practice, and how's the team doing?
Well, we ended practice with a team meal. We had Chick-fil-A, so it doesn't really matter how the rest of the day was. That turns it into a good day no matter what. So, but I know we had a good practice, had a lot of energy, and you'll love that team meal and the chance for the girls to bond a little bit afterwards. So it was a good day.
You guys have had a really good week, a couple of good wins. And, I think everyone knows that, you're down 3 starters and everything. And I love what you tweeted out a couple of days ago on our article. It's not adversity, it's an opportunity. So how have the girls kind of handled this opportunity to kind of step up and better themselves and really show what they have the last couple of games?
Well, I think the first thing is they realize that we're in the middle of a special season, and for us to lose 3 starters, if we want to just kind of let that be the end of it, then we could have very easily let that be the end of it. But they've kind of came together because they respect and love those other girls so much that said, we're going to come together and we're going to make sure that we play the right way and win games for you, and kind of just keep pushing us forward. And so they've done that, and it's been some great minutes for some girls that haven't played before. And you look at Mallory Vidman, Taylor McClish, and Hannah Krause have all had double-digit scoring games, which they've never done that before. So we're finding some scoring in some new places and getting some ball handlers from some new players. And it's an opportunity for us to kind of showcase that, while I understand how good those starters are and when that five's together what we are, it's a chance for us to showcase what our program's about, and to say that we're not only good because of our talent, it's because of what we do on a nightly basis, and that kind of trickles down to everywhere.
The positive about it is we get to talk about some girls that we don't really get to talk about a lot. And let's start with Hannah Krause. I mean, she had back-to-back games in double figures, starting with that Saturday game when you were just down 1 starter, and then, the next game back to double figures. What, as a coach, seeing the kind of work that she's put in over the years, what did it mean to you to see her step up and take that opportunity and really find some success in her game?
We're really happy for Hannah because, like you said, that's a girl that she wanted to be a part of this. She made a decision herself. Nobody else made it for her, that in the off season she was going to put in the work because she wanted to be a part of what we do here. And when we get our top 7 of our rotation back from last year, that's there. If you're below that line, where are you going to crack that list? And that can be intimidating for some of our girls. And a girl like Hannah Krause, she didn't back down from the challenge. And we talked to the girls, and the message this year really, we understand that injuries can happen, but the message this year was COVID. Like, you never know when somebody's going to be in quarantine, and just like that, you're going to have to step up. So we needed these girls to stay ready. And it's an unfortunate situation how Hannah got her opportunity, but awful proud of how she's taken advantage of it because she's worked so hard, and she deserves the accolades that she's getting right now.
Another player that got her feet wet last year, got some time. Emma Cunningham comes off the bench last year. Now this year getting the starting rotation now that you're down. Not showing up huge in the scoring, but man, that defense bringing a lot to you in the effort and the ability to go get some 50-50 balls. What does it mean to you to kind of once again see that girl kind of step up and take advantage of the opportunity?
Well, Emma Cunningham is a really good basketball player, and I think everybody knows that except for Emma. And so we're trying to get Emma to understand how good she is. She plays a little bit nervous sometimes, but she's so good, and she really she has become a defensive specialist for her. She's got them go gadget arms, and she leads the team in deflections. And now she's starting to get some steals of being on the court a little bit more. So what she can do for us defensively, it makes us a really tough team to score against. And she's fun to watch. She's fun to coach. and she's just one of the best kids you can ask for.
And then I want one more, Taylor McClish. Last game out, she tied for the league for the team lead in points with 11. Just another girl. What can you say about Taylor that's put in the work and now taking the advantage of another opportunity? So many players just taking advantage of the opportunity given to them.
Well, I think Taylor is a special story because she is so scrappy, and when she goes in the game, she plays defense so hard. You know, she is our bulldog on defense, and we can put her in. We know we trust her there, and she does so many of the small things that don't show up in the scorebook that you don't read about in newspapers. And she has such a good attitude, and she works so hard at practice that for her to come out and get a game where she scores 11 and get a little bit of a notice for that, she deserves it because she does all the little things that don't get noticed. But last year she was a real key in our tournament run, and she's been a real key in all the success we've had this year. So again, those are three girls that have had to step up in a situation and never batted an eye, and have got put into situations that they haven't been asked to be in before, and have responded really well. We've went 3-0 or 4-0 now, down three starters because of the way they stepped up.
Another thing that people maybe don't think about when you're down three people, whether they're starters or not, the numbers in practice. Has it changed anything that you're able to do in practice, or has it been just status quo? You have enough people to do exactly what you want to do come practice time.
Yeah, it's been pretty much status quo. And we talked as a staff, and we talked with the girls a little bit. We thought if we approach things differently at practice, that would give the girls an excuse to respond differently. So, it doesn't matter last year, this year, next year, 2 years from now, we're going to coach these girls the same way, and they're going to understand that, and that the expectations are the same. And, just because we have new starters, we're not lowering our standards, and we wanted to make sure that was a message and feel that we gave them at practice so that everything was as normal as it usually is.
Let's talk about your last game against Girard. We talked about it in your first matchup. Girard's talented enough to kind of sneak up on teams if they don't show up. And obviously, down three starters, they probably took that as an opportunity to really give you their best shot. And it was a battle. You guys ended up winning by 11. It was a low-scoring 49-38 game. When this team in the lineup it is now goes through that kind of adversity and fights hard for that win, what does that do for you guys?
Well, Girard's a tough place to play, and like you said, that's a talented team, and Coach Saxon, and he knows what he's doing, and he's got a great coaching staff. And we told the girls, you got to be ready without knowing what to be ready for, because they're probably going to play a defense against us that we've never seen. And sure enough, they came out and face guarded Lexi, and it wasn't a box and one, it was a box and a 1-3, box and a 1-1-2, some kind of alignment that we really didn't have a chance to prepare for because we weren't sure what they were going to do. And that makes it really tough, because now you've got to run an offense that you've never ran before. And we're trying to draw some stuff up and talk about this. And Girard hit some shots early on, which kind of frustrated us because we weren't getting what we wanted on offense, and we weren't stopping them on defense. So we started to press a little bit, and just got out of the habits that we usually have. And then once we were able to get to halftime and talk a little bit, and the girls calmed down, just played hard and played the right way. And ultimately, when you do that, good things happen. And we had a great third quarter and hung on in the fourth quarter. And I thought that was a real important win and a big win for our program that certainly could have went the other way.
With all that being said, if you had to pick maybe one or two keys to that victory, or maybe people that stepped up in ways that don't go on the scorebook, what were some keys to coming out on top in a game where, like you said, didn't start out the way you wanted it to?
Yeah, number 24, Hannah Hakinen, probably played the best game that she's played in the 2 years that I've been her coach. She came off the bench, and I don't know how many points she had. I think she had 8 rebounds, and they were important rebounds. They weren't just easy ones that got to her. She went and got them. She got rebounds that Girard could have got, and made some nice outlet passes off of them. She got a couple 50-50 balls off the floor that could have been possessions for Girard. And so I really think Hannah Hakinen was the MVP of that game for us, just because of the extra possessions and rebounds that she got us. And she was awesome, and really proud of her. She's been past few weeks really stepping up as well, and think great things are ahead for her as well in this program.
You had 2 more games to close out the week. What kind of things do you want to see from your team to close out this week?
Continued growth, and to make sure that we have the right focus in mind. We got to show up and play, and we got to take advantage of the opportunity that we have. We only have 7 games left in the regular season, so I think these things are dwindling, and we got to make sure that we enjoy the situation that we're blessed to be in, and we play for the girls that are hurt right now, and represent the program the right way, and hopefully we'll be able to come out and get a couple wins.
And now that we've talked about this week and the week that was, the week that is, let's just dive into some questions that we like to ask here on Coach's Corner, because I ask a lot of players this, but I don't think I've ever asked you this. What are some of the pregame routines that you have that you kind of want to stick to that make you feel ready for a game before the buzzer sounds and the adrenaline starts running?
So I have 2 that come to mind. My pregame, during game drink. All my players know it. All my freshmen still joke about it. The freshman boys that I had is it's a Gatorade mixed with a Diet Mountain Dew mixed with a 5-hour energy, and I have to have one of those before the game, and then I drink it during the game. And then the other one is we have them. They're the wintergreen Lifesaver mints. I have to have one of them right before tip-off. So those are my 2 kind of superstitious things that just put me at ease to know that everything's right with the world and we're going to get to play a basketball game.
Now, you've had a short head coaching career at the varsity level, but you've been coaching for a while. You were the freshman coach at South Range for quite some time. What are some of your favorite memories coaching in your career, whether it be with the freshmen or whether it be with the Lady Readers the last 2 years?
Well, I think the things that I remember the most are some of the goofy times that we had at practice, where we've kind of got away from the seriousness that we bring to wanting to be a winning program and some of the goofy things. But, I remember the first year I was a freshman coach. One of my favorite stories to tell is that it was a semifinal game against Springfield in the tournament, and they had beat us once in a regular season. We'd beaten them once, and it was a battle. Our kids were exhausted at the end of the game, and me, Springfield's a big rival, and I'm always happy when we win. And we beat them, and we shake hands after the game, and so now we get to play in a championship game. And I was out talking to somebody, and they go in the locker room, and I go in the locker room like 2 minutes later, and I burst through, and I'm ready to celebrate. And, they're all sitting on the bench, like head down, catching their breath, breathing hard. I'm like, what's the matter? We need to be celebrating. They're like, Coach, we're too tired to celebrate. And, I was just such a proud moment to know that, we just had a freshman group go out and give that effort in a basketball game, that, a huge win against a rival to get a chance to play in a championship. And they were just exhausted. They didn't have enough energy left to celebrate. So that's one of the most favorite things that I remember, is just that feeling of pride. And it's just kind of something that I've carried through my career with the effort that I expect our teams to give.
We ask all the players about their home court and what makes that such a home court advantage. And I was talking with Coach Reel earlier tonight. He is Coach's Corner, and of course he used to coach at South Range back when we were in the old school and you played on that court. Get some nostalgia going. What was so special about that court to you and made that court feel like home when you were playing on it?
Well, it was that student section that pulled out on the stage, and they sat right behind both benches. And so anything our students were yelling, you could hear. And, whether they were cheering for us or yelling at the other team, you could hear that. And, when you're in friendly territory and stuff like that's happening, it's a big advantage, and it's fun to play, with your friends right behind you screaming their head off for you.
Did you ever get the sense while you were playing an opponent that it just was an intimidating place to play with how compact it was and the crowd, whether it be the student section or even the crowd on the other side, right on you. Did you ever feel like other opponents, coming in were just like, man, this is just an intimidating place to play?
Well, I love the old gyms because they weren't nearly as cookie cutter as they are now. So many schools around here have new schools with new gyms, and if you had never been in one and the school colors were on it, most of the gyms you go to, you wouldn't know what gym you were in because so many of them are built the same way now. So back in the day when all the gyms were different, you had that feeling everywhere. And that's why home court advantage was so big back then. And on our court, yeah, you kind of see the opponents looking around and looking at the student section, like, oh, they're not going to play well this game. They're so worried about everything else. But then that would happen to you when you went to places to play, and McDonald's got their old gym. That place was hard to play in, but Jackson Milton's old gym was hard to play in. Western Reserve's was hard to play in. Lowellville's old was, these ICL schools with their old gyms were just different, small, compact, loud gyms that made the atmosphere a lot of fun to play in.
When you think about now getting back to our current gym at South Range, what kind of things make that feel like home to you since you've coached in it for so long and now you're a varsity coach in it? What kind of things about that gym, just kind of when you walk into it, make it feel like home?
Well, I think anytime I see that much burgundy and gold, it feels like home no matter where I'm at. So I think that's the nice thing about a home court gym is you're just familiar with everything. You know where everything's at. You know where you're going. You know what to expect. You know where the light's going to come in the windows. You know what doors are going to be open. And it's just a very familiar feeling. And that's, the definition of what home is. And so when you talk about a home court, you should have a similar definition. So that's why we enjoy it there so much.
And we've talked to a lot of athletes the last couple months, and multi-sport athletes, and the importance of being a multi-sport athlete. You coach a bunch of multi-sport athletes on your team. What can you say about the importance of playing multiple sports and kind of getting experience from a bunch of different types of people and types of activities?
I wish all of our girls would play 3 sports because the different muscles and the different abilities and talents and things that different sports teach kids. Every sport is different, and but there are abilities in each sport that can be directly tied to the next sport. And one of the things that you can't replace is experience when the bright lights come on. So beyond just the different training and athletic abilities that playing different sports builds, is the fact that when you get to play when the lights are on in an important game, you can't replace experience. So I love girls that have played in important tournament volleyball games that come play basketball because they've had that experience, and we can't replicate that. So when we go to the tournament, they've already had something similar to that. And then our girls can take that into softball or a big track meet. And then it's just this big cycle of, the competitive nature that multiple sports play. There's no replacement for it. And like I said, I encourage our girls to play as many sports as they can. This high school, they're only going to get this chance to do it. And, high school sports are a lot of fun, and love multi-sport athletes.
And you said high school sports are a lot of fun to you. You were a high school athlete. You've coached high school kids. What makes the game at this level and the kids at this level, no matter what sport it is, what makes it special, do you think?
Well, it's the relationships that get built. I'm still best friends with the teammates that I had, when I was in high school, and I'm still really good friends with Coach McHugh. And so, I watch the friendships that these girls are developing right now and how close they are and how deeply they care about each other. And, I thought we were close before these injuries happened. One of the silver linings that we're starting to learn already is that these girls have gotten even closer because of it. And that's stuff that, they're going to take with them throughout life. And that's not basketball related at all. That's just the friendship and bonds that they have, that when times are good in the future, they're going to share those times. and enjoy them together. And when times are tough, they're going to be together to get through tough times. And, we all need that in our adult lives. And it's fun to watch them starting to build those relationships that I know are going to help them get through life as they get older. And I think that's probably, at the end of the day, what this is all about. And, it's a good feeling to see how close they are.
Yeah, and as we go through this season, and you're almost through, you have what, 7 games left?
Yep.
7.
Yep,
So,
7 regular season.
Past the halfway point, what kind of things have you seen from the community at large to draw out the support for the program when they can't get to the games?
Well, I swear every time I see somebody in public, and I love this, they ask me if there's a way they can get to a game. And, unfortunately, my answer is I can't help you. COVID is COVID, and we got to follow the rules. But, so many people want to come watch this team play that, that's the number one question when people see me in public that I get asked. And that means a lot. And that, we know that the community is supporting us. And obviously, we've talked about YSN and the sponsors and what they've been able to provide for not only our community, but the entire, YSN network's breadth that they follow. And so that means so much to people. And, the support that we have from the parents and the folks that are getting the games, I'm getting text messages and phone calls and emails on a daily basis of how much fun they're having watching us and the excitement they have. So this is a great place to be. South Range has always been a great place to be. And, this community is second to none, and they're behind us and they support us. And that means the world to us.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for joining us this week. Good luck in the week to come, and we'll catch up with you next week for episode 6.
Probably we'll talk about the Chiefs for 1 or 2 questions next week. Have a good night, man. It was good to see you.
Let's do it.
All right.